Just touched down, back on road. Counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my strike a pose. Hop in mode. Just touched down, back on road. Counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my to strike a pose. Hop in mode.
Yo, this your boy Q Bar, and you already know I'm the host of the Barcode Podcast, 4 on 4, and today, man, I'm sitting here with a very, very special man, mentor in my life, and many others, from the inner city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, man. Y'all got to show love to Coach Gene, man, Mr. Free, man. Thank you for pulling up, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah. And of course, before we get into it, I got to give you your flowers because you did you did a whole bunch of great things, man. And with me having this platform, I got to give you your flowers and let people know what you did, man. He was a former coach of Neighborhood House AAU program. He's a community mentor, advocate for kids, and he's a father, man. Thank you so much, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. First thing I want to ask you, though, Coach, about your upbringing.
Okay.
I want to know about your upbringing. And did you play sports growing up?
Yes.
Okay.
Basketball, football, baseball. Believe it or not, baseball was my favorite sport.
Yeah.
I would have preferred to play baseball over everything. Didn't work out like that, but I played everything. Did everything. Raised by my granddad and my mom. Honestly, I'm the man that I am because of my grandfather. Mm-hmm. So, come right out of, actually, I lived in this community most of my life. I just happened to stay off of 30th and Valine. Neighborhood House was the place we all came to.
Yeah.
There in the Sal on 26. But Neighborhood House was pretty much where we always came.
Yeah. So you grew up on 30th and Valine.
Yes.
And this was the spot to come to. You said you played different sports. So when did coaching Neighborhood House come about for you?
I actually didn't want to come back to Neighborhood House. My little cousin, Ricky Means, kept coming to me saying, "Man, Kelly want to talk to you, Kelly Kirk.
Yeah.
Want to talk to you. I said, "Man, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be bothered with Neighborhood House, And then eventually, he just kept coming to me. So I just said, all right, I'm going to go talk to Kelly, see what he's talking about. Kelly wanted to bring me in because the coach that was here was no longer here.
Oh, okay.
And he could have coached it if he wanted to. Kelly could have. But he said he wanted to do something different. Came in, had a conversation, told him about if I did this, there was a way that I needed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about that. He's like, okay, that's cool. Set up an interview with the team director at that time.
Okay.
And I shared vision with her, that it had to be books and balls.
Yeah.
It couldn't just be athletics, because if we just focus on athletics, what about the academic side? So we building you up for sports, but where you gonna go with it if you don't have an education?
Yeah.
She looked at me like, what? I've never had a coach come in here and say anything like that. I said, yeah, well, I don't do what other people do. So
yeah.
From there, we created history.
Yes, you did.
We first year here, I had
What year was this?
2001, 2002.
Okay.
I had Brandon Miller, James West, Charles Harris.
Okay. Alex, Bonnie, no?
They were too old to play AU.
Oh,
But
they are OGs, yeah.
yes, but they were my they were the players that I used to get other players ready.
Yeah.
I could count on them. They were always a talented group of young people.
Yeah.
But with Brandon, James, James did not end up playing with us, though. Brandon did. And with Brandon, I brought in Perry Neal, Rodney Redmond, Larry Miles, a kid named Brian Brown from Tech, and
I remember Byron.
Will Batten.
Mm-hmm.
And I had two other kids, I can't remember their names right now. In our first tournament, we played against Ray Nixon, the kids from over at Thomas More.
Is it Fox Valley?
No. It was they had a stack team. They had Novak, they had Nixon, they had
Was it Wolfpack?
you know what? I don't remember their name.
Oh, okay.
But they had everybody that was supposedly the cream of the crop in 19 under. And we had them. We were in there. We were in their tail. And if Brandon would have just stayed disciplined,
Yeah.
we'd have upset everybody. The state would have taken notice. They'd have been on notice. I tell you, Rodney Redmond and Perry Neal, just dunking on them
Just,
right off the vertical.
Yeah, more,
Just
you know.
surprising. And people, everybody out at what is the college out here?
Is it Wisconsin Lutheran?
Yeah, Wisconsin Lutheran.
Yeah.
Coming from all the other courts to come watch this game because they like, oh wait, they're about to get upset. Oh yeah, we had plans.
Yeah.
And at that same time, the younger team with Mario, Lindsay, DeMarcus, and those guys were playing, but weren't getting no respect.
Yeah.
But that's how we started.
Yeah.
We started that way, and Brandon, that team set the tempo.
Yeah.
They set the standard for what we would do moving forward.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And when you started, when you came to Neighborhood House and started the AAU program, did you consider yourself a mentor at that time too?
yeah, because I had already, before coming to Neighborhood House, there used to be a summer program at Tiffin Tyler.
Okay.
And there was a league called Show Some Love, excuse me, that was started by a pastor. And I coached over there. We did some mentoring over there. And also at the Sal with Brian Stewart.
Yeah.
But at Show Some Love, that's where a lot of the people that ended up playing with me later, like Mario. The first time I seen Mario play, Mario was 5
years old.
5 years old, and he was playing up with a coach named Earl Bean.
Okay.
At Tiffin Tyler, he was playing up and holding his own.
Yeah.
But from there, I ended up going into the Sal with Brian Stewart and coaching for the Sal before I came to Neighborhood House.
Yeah.
And that's when I was able to, coach Ronnie and all of those guys.
Yeah.
That was ideal.
Yeah. And the relationship that you have, especially, the guys around my age, Gene, and they invited, and I want to thank you too. Even I think I told you this a few months ago in your inbox, or maybe longer. Remember, I apologized to you, not playing with Neighborhood House AAU team.
Yeah.
And I really meant that, because I talked to Rio and Mike L and everybody about it, and Steve Harris.
Yes.
Man, why you didn't play? And it kind of messed me up, because coming here, playing and you getting on our tail and just being the leader that you are, man, that meant a lot to me, dude. So I'm sitting here telling you face to face, I apologize for never playing with a Neighborhood House. Man.
It's I would say that's a two-way street.
Yeah.
Because I still, even though I respected the boundaries of what was happening with Vincent and Playground, you were one of us, so I should have still did that. I still should have sent you a letter and let you make a decision.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to cause you any problems because I didn't know how that relationship was working. But I don't even know if you remember the first time I actually seen you play. It was because of Charles, and we came over to Grant.
Grant.
Yeah, and that's how, because actually the guy, Mr. Cheatham, me and him used to work together. But when Charles brought me up, I'm like, damn, this kid right here. And he was telling me, that's when he introduced me to you. But yeah, you would help us get that championship. For sure.
And that's the one they keep beating me up about. Like, we just needed you for nationals, Q. You come to nationals, man. And, you know, so.
It would have, you know what, honestly, at that same time, Red used to come over and would be watching practice, and he was talking, I really should play with y'all, But he happened to come over one time, they were in trouble. And we were running. And he was looking like, Coach Free, I really want to play with y'all, but I can't do all this running.
Yeah.
Well, this is not the spot for you.
Yeah.
We're going to be in shape over here. But yeah, man, I'm just grateful. You know, I was grateful for the opportunity. And honestly, I got tired of seeing our young people just get used for athletic purposes. I knew it was more to it, you know, so.
Yeah, and it was definitely tough for you too, if you think about it. What all AU teams we had back then? We had Running Rebels, we had Playground.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't a lot of AU teams like it is today. You know what I'm saying? So with you, you know, being from the inner city, you know, you're dealing with a lot of inner city kids. What were some of the challenges you had to deal with, you know, on the basketball side? And I know a lot of kids was going through some stuff, you know, at home in their personal lives. Like, was that like challenging?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part, honestly, was competing with the drugs, fast money. Gangs were prevalent, but I didn't have the problem with the gangs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had good relationships with people that had pull in their community. So the harder part was keeping young people motivated and engaged with school more so than gang activity, but the appeal of the fast money and, you know, whether you being a runner or whatever.
Yeah.
We lost some to that.
Yeah.
But that was the hardest part, but I didn't have a problem going to talk to people about, hey, I'm trying to provide opportunities to these young people. So, you know, these are the kids that play with me. And if you know some kids that you want to send over to me, that's great. But these kids, if you see them out here, tell them it's not happening. You're not going to allow them to be out here. And it worked out like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. And I feel like you like amazing at what you do, you know, as far as being a mentor. But we all know that everyone has a flaw.
Yeah.
What was one of your flaws? If you had to choose one.
I could choose a few, but extending myself to people who didn't appreciate what was being given. Extending loyalty can come back to bite you. Because everybody doesn't recognize or appreciate genuine love and support.
Yeah.
they think they think you're trying to use them for something when I put all my cards on the table for you. It's up to you how we move, and if you feel like this is too much for you, the pureness scares people.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
Truth can scare people who love to live in the illusion. So if you've been hearing, oh man, you can get paid. Well, we're not paying you over here. What we do is you earn the trips. Nobody here ever had to pay for any basketball tournament. We provided everything. Room, board, food, everything that you could think of. Our only requirement we had was that you were a good citizen and that you did school.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah.
But that scared some people.
Yeah.
They just didn't want it.
Yeah, and within the program at Neighborhood House,
Mm-hmm.
because when I played for the Wisconsin Scholars, we did fundraising. We had to have like a team fee. It wasn't much,
Yeah.
So Neighborhood House funded all of that. Like y'all did any fundraising or anything? Because fundraising was cracking back in the day. Like that was the thing.
It was. Well, what we did, we had a great board here.
Yeah.
And that's where, we had grant writers.
Mm-hmm.
They did that. And that's how we got money. I just felt like young people, some of the young people I had, right? Let's say that.
Okay.
We're already having to do a lot of things as teenagers that were really for adults to do. So if there was a way to take the pressure off and just let them be teenagers, if that meant we not fundraising, okay, we're not fundraising. We're going to find another avenue. Because what I really wanted to do was to allow them to enjoy life as a teenager, as an adult, trying to be an adult as a teenager. So that's what the focus was for me, was how can I make this as pleasant but yet as powerful as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did.
Yeah, and one thing I want to, this is really important to me right here,
Sure.
Coach, because I just remember growing up where me and my little cousin, we'd go to Aldi's or these grocery stores, we'd help our elders, with their groceries in the bag, get money and hold the door for women, just respecting.
Yes.
So with this being a new day and age, man, you having kids disrespect their parents, stealing cars, carrying guns, not respecting their elders, not going to school, none of that type of stuff. You being a mentor and seeing all these things that's going on in our community, how that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking, frustrating for me, because with our program, we were able to reach those young people who were in situations like that. And we created opportunities for them to do other. I don't see that.
Yeah.
This is my take. That's no knock on any program that's out here. But I think from what I'm seeing, the energy isn't being put in the right places to deter that behavior. But also you got to remember now, this city has taken all of the places young people could go away. We're talking about your closing, the YMCA's, the Boys and Girls Club, there's no roller skating rinks, there's no movie theaters, there's nothing really in the city for young people to do. So, you know, there's that old saying that idle mind in the devil's workshop. I just believe that that's not so much the situation. I think when we defund programs, we create an environment that leaves them helpless. So now you got all this time on your hands. I'm gonna create my own fund. So you got the Kia boys.
You keep.
You have young people with guns. I've seen 12, 13-year-olds walking down the street, smoking weed, talking about, everything under the sun.
Yeah.
When you should be in school.
Yeah.
I actually live right across the street from a K-8.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I hear young people, and I'm talking young elementary students, make me call the office of the school, because I'm like, this is what's happening on the playground, but you have two adults for 40, 50 kids, and the adults may be standing on the wall while the kids all out on the playground doing different things, and you don't even know what they're doing or what they're talking about. This is what we're dealing with. But also you have parents who don't want you talking to their children.
Yeah, this one, them young parents.
Yeah, but those parents are the parents that need some help.
Yeah, that's true.
I have grandkids. I think about all of this stuff. It's heartbreaking for me, though. It makes me think about trying to bring books and balls back.
Yeah.
That's how much it bothers me. You have young mentors who want to reinvent the wheel, when in everything there's a foundation for a purpose.
Yep.
It's not saying you can't build on the foundation, but you also must remember that you need the foundation. You just can't go building something on sand and think it's gonna last. You need a foundation. You got to have some principles, some values, some morals in how you operate. If not, how you gonna teach these young people to do something with integrity if you have none?
If you have none, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, it's already recorded. Y'all was talking so much. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Don't you edit that out?
Yeah,
I ain't gonna edit nothing out.
No, I'm telling him, don't keep that.
Yeah.
Because you know the problem is?
Yeah.
One of the problems we have right now, my generation is afraid to talk to young people because young people dismiss us as if we're the enemy.
The newer generation, correct?
Because we're trying to save you. Mm-hmm. We're trying to give you skills, tools necessary to survive. We didn't make it here by happenstance. There were people helping us. Mm-hmm. And people in my generation, some did what I did. A lot of the others went to the streets and did other things and became members of gangs. And they helped usher in this behavior that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And I can't remember if I said this, but you had a lot of inner city kids, including myself, that faced a lot of similar challenges. What were you able to do during them difficult times? Because I grew up with Rio, and I knew the type of upbringing he had, and it was way different than mine, even though I was going through stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, was he able to come back to you, or whoever you mentor? Were they able to come back comfortably and tell you these stories that were going on at home or whatever?
Yeah, I'll say this. I always made it a point to let them know that the door was always open. There was nothing we couldn't conversate about, and what we conversated about was between us. Mm-hmm. when there were situations that people would say, well, that's outside of the realm of mentoring. But see, honestly, if you're really, to me, it's just my philosophy on mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
The boundaries are, of course, personal respect and all those things. And you ain't trying to sleep with nobody's mama, none of that. They sisters, aunties, none of that. It's about how can I help you. Mm-hmm. So my thing was always based on family. Creating a family system so you knew that there was always support outside of home. And I treated all of the young people that played for me no different than I treated my own children. Yeah. Whatever I expected from my children, I expected from them.
Yeah.
I did school visits, whether it was meeting with the counselor, the teachers, the administrators. Everything you could think of that would help provide a support system is what I did as a mentor. Yeah. Nothing less.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in all honesty, that's how we got success. Because they knew that it was bigger than basketball, because I always showed them. I didn't just talk about it, it was a demonstration every day. So,
yeah. And this is so crazy. I think I just asked Rio this the other day. And I think I know, yeah, Rio and Lindsay. You know who I thought was your son for years?
Who?
Birdman.
Damien?
Yes, Damien.
Damien is my son.
I know, but y'all like favor.
Yeah,
got that
sure.
before?
You know what? We were I just talked to Damien recently too. I knew Damien and his family well before I ever started doing basketball.
Yeah.
Me and Damien's uncle, Dennis, went to school together.
Okay.
And yeah, man, that's my family.
Yeah, I know.
That's my son.
But ain't that crazy that I asked Rio that? I said, his son, man. That's what I'm looking like, man.
Yeah, but you know what? Nate too.
Oh, Nate Griffin.
Yeah.
Nate Griffin.
Nate Griffin. Yeah.
And you coached a lot of players.
Yes.
Of course, I know 90% of them, maybe 100%.
Yeah.
And I can't name all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a story that I want to bring up, man.
Sure.
That when I first heard it, like even talking about it right now, I'm getting a little emotional.
Sure.
Because I just remember being at Grand CLC and Brandon Miller was pushing me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He was a part of the reason of making me tougher. You know what I'm saying? And he went through a situation in college where he committed a crime. And
Yes.
the first thing I want to ask you is, because we all have reactions to it,
Uh-huh.
and with you being a mentor and being so important in Brandon's life, when you got that phone call, how did that make you feel?
Oh my God. I could tell you, I was here at work when Mario called me and told me that he had been arrested. I said, stop playing, because we had just talked to him the day before and he was planning to come home because he was going to his sister's wedding in Chicago. And my heart dropped, I wanted to cry, but I was at work, you know what I mean? But I was devastated. I couldn't believe that. I don't know, man. It just really hurt me.
Yeah.
I've known Brandon since Brandon was 5. And, other people turn their back on Brandon, man. I love Brandon to death. I recently talked to Brandon.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my biggest hurts.
Yeah.
As a coach, mentor, as a parent, because you think that you're doing everything possible. Oh, jeez. To help properly guide and build someone for success and for life, period. And you get a phone call like that and then start learning the details.
Yeah.
That was even more.
More like just crushing.
Yes.
And hurtful. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Once he got arrested, I didn't get a chance to talk to him while he was in the county and all of that out in Montana. I did, I was, watching things online and checking the Montana paper and just getting a little information like that. Then, right before the trial was getting ready to start for him, I get a call from San Francisco. It was a lawyer from San Francisco, and she was asking to come talk to me, and I'm like, sure. And I said, well, what is this really regarding though? She said, this is about Brandon Miller. I said, okay. She said, he gave us your name and everything. I said, sure, that's fine. I said, but she said, well, but our office only gets involved when there's a death penalty case. Once again, I'm here at work in my office. This time I'm by myself. So, but she said, definitely. I'm like shaking my head. Honestly, I cried because I'm like, man, they're going to kill my boy. They want to kill my boy. Like, what is this? And she came. We had a conversation here in the office. And it was, that's probably one of the hardest conversations I've had in my life.
Yeah.
Knowing what the possible outcome could be. So definitely toughest thing dealt with as a coach.
Yeah. And when when you've been knowing someone for so long,
Yes.
and then you checking the newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
We all get naive sometimes. Like, ain't no way. No,
Yeah.
I know him. Ain't no. You had that type of moment when you was going through the newspaper.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then when they were saying that he was the shooter, I'm like, oh no, this cannot be correct. And I remember I caught he was in court and he accepted the plea. And so I was able to watch that live, basically. And it's another hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
The DNA, the evidence rather, that's showed that he was the shooter, and when his sentence was given, that was a whole nother ball of wax, man. It was, he received 128 years.
Yeah.
And, 10 years per bullet. And then he got 14 years for 2 different charges for pistol bullet, 2 different people.
Yeah.
And it's like, what happened to make him, this is what's running through my mind. What happened to cause this to happen to him, to do this?
Yeah.
And it was hard having no answers and no way to talk to him at first. And then James and Will Anderson, the twins.
Yeah.
Nephews.
Yeah, they're my dogs, man. I love them, man.
To death.
Yeah.
That he had loving the life.
Yeah.
they were going to see him, and I want to say it was Will called me and told me that Brendan had been asking about me and wanted to see me. He figured I was mad at him. I wasn't mad. I was frustrated and confused for sure. Because I'm like, before all that happened, he had came home. He was working for me here in a team program, and he was doing summer stars for me and everything. And he never let on that he was having problems out there. And he like I said, he thought I was mad at him. And so what we did was, I filled out the form. Should be able to go see him. But the corrections facility never got back to me. So then, a few years later, so I'd say probably like either earlier this year or last year, towards the end of last year, I actually got to talk to Brendan for the first time.
It was your first time, and I was going to ask that. Like,
Since he's been incarcerated.
Can you tell us about your emotions with that first phone call?
Oh man, I was excited. I was overjoyed to hear from him. It had been such a long time. We just picked up. I never stopped loving Brandon. Made a mistake, I know other people who he played for and did things with got contact, But if we, family, and you make a mistake, am I supposed to throw you away, or am I supposed to help you if I can? My thing was, I can help him still. I'm still going to be here for me. Call me, whatever. I'm going to do that. So that's always been my philosophy, man. I'm encouraged. Hopefully, he gets out. There's some things from supposedly in the works that may give him the opportunity to come home. I love to see him.
Yeah, man, I most definitely would too, man. Thank you so much, man, for sharing that, because I know it's difficult. We talk about, the basketball, and, I know my history, especially around my era, and, Brandon Miller was, he seen me early, 6th, 7th grade, so, just for you to, share that story, not just to me, but to all of us, I appreciate that.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I do. But what your future, hold as far as mentoring? Are you going to try to, are you back in the facility, or are you going to get back in the facility? You said you're going to bring the ball back, the ball and books?
No, I said I would. I said it makes me want to.
Oh, man.
Not that I am.
Yeah.
Honestly, I still have relationships with pretty much all of my kids. Mm-hmm. So it's being carried out in different ways. Like, I'll give you an example. Mario was doing it in Arizona.
Yeah.
Rolando Rowe Gordon is doing it in Chicago with Geek Squad. I don't necessarily have a need to get back. I mean, I would love to do something here at home, but you got to have the right people. You'd have to have a space to bring young people into and to build around those things to give them other opportunities and to help them see that there are other things out here that could be, to help them make better choices, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't have an organization that I work with that I want to do that with.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't go to work for somebody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the way I need to do my thing, I need it to be red tape free. And you can't control my decision making. People now might not like that. So it's not an ego thing for me, but I know what works.
Yeah.
So why would I come in and do something different when I don't know if that works? But I got a proven program with a track record of success. You want me to come in and try your stuff?
Yeah.
I'll pass on that.
Yeah, exactly. I feel you on that. Makes a lot of sense too. But this the absolute last question right here, and
Sure.
and before I ask you, man, like I said, I appreciate you, taking the time out your day, man. Busy day, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, pulling up to the Barcode Podcast, 414. But the last question, man, to all the youth you had the opportunity to coach / mentor, what words of encouragement would you give them?
To keep building on the foundation that we established. To continue to look for opportunities to help people in your space. We are obligated to help where we can. That's what it is to me. My granddad gave me seeds. I gave seeds out, and those seeds are being planted elsewhere. So hopefully, in those other places like a Chicago or Arizona, Minnesota, where Michael is, all these other places, they continue to bear fruit.
Yep.
Now, I want to say something to you, though.
Ooh, talk to me,
I am extremely proud of you for what you're doing with this and for giving a voice to a community that isn't often appreciated. You allow us to share our stories, the good and the bad. And believe it or not, that helps us. Exercise some things that we needed to let go of, and some things that we needed to share from our experiences. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about a few people before we end. A couple of parents for sure. Mary Mays Mitchell, that's DeMarcus, Keon, and Martell's mother. Vicki Davison is Travis' mother, but she was the mother for Books and Balls, along with some of these other people. Lisa Jones, Mario's mom. Rose Mack, that's T-Mac's mother. And those people, those women, Mary Bell, that's Mike Rogers' mother. Without their support, we don't have the success, because you need parents to support the program, to help push the loyalty part. I can't leave out Mario Johnson, Terrence Mack, Jimmy Marshall, Marcus Mitchell, Nate Griff, Mike Landers. I only got Mike Landers due to DeMarcus. I got Jimmy Marshall due to DeMarcus. And I had kids coming from Port Washington to play with us. I had kids coming from South Milwaukee to play with us. This little place here, you know, in this hood. I gotta mention Lovey Young, who is off of one team. I have two police officers, Lovey Young and D'Angelo Lord.
Yeah.
You know, we have really tried to impact. Nate Griff is a teacher, math teacher, who came back from Minnesota to give back to this community. He went to Tech first, and then now he's at Tulsa West. You know, and I'm just grateful. And also, the other kid that I wanted from Vincent, Jovan Campbell. I would have took Will Boyce. Don't get it twisted. I would have.
See, Will was down the street too.
Because a lot of kids didn't get away from the community. Because we would have. Oh, Thomas Shumpert, man. I got to shout out Thomas.
Yeah.
Love that dude to death. He's doing great things at South.
Mm-hmm.
But he's even. I know him in a different way. But Thomas is a great young man, doing great things.
Yeah.
All of you young men are, and I'm proud to be associated with it.
Thank you.
I'm
sir.
grateful for the platform. Man.
Thank
I really am.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Y'all got to give it up for my unc, man, OG Gene and Coach Free, man, for pulling up to the Barcode Podcast 414. And make sure y'all tune in, like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, set the bar and stick to the code. Me and Coach Free, we out, man.
Peace.
Yeah.
No, good to see you. Okay, it worked okay? Good, good, good. Awesome.
Look at this gym.
Oh no, you'll like it. You'll like it.
Oh, we did that. Boy, I'm waiting for you, Unc.
No, I'm talking about Whitney.
Oh, my man, I got you.
We were doing this. First year I started, we brought in a yoga instructor. 0 injuries. Try to give it back. They wouldn't ready.
I feel to be in this gym. Bring back a lot of memories, emotions.
That was my office right there.
Yeah.
That's where I got the call. It's been a long time. This gym looks nice though.